According to Brad. According to Brad. Long time no chat, Misfit Maniacs. Rusty Shackelford is the fast twitch fiber freak maniac of the night, according to Big Lenny. Big J's last Penley row. Lexington Plumber, how's the training going? You moving some weight out there? 6'2", 210, depends what your goals are, Jesus. Chuck E. Cheese Ranch in very quickly to steal my content, my sick monetized content. Opinion on Arnold's statement on how there's no heaven. When did he say that? Doesn't surprise me. We're in a spiritual battle, people, especially here in the United States, Western Europe. The fool says in his heart there is no God. Take it with a grain of salt coming from Arnold. I want my royalties, Chuck E. Cheese Ranch, for my content. What do you guys think of this jersey I got? It's an authentic NFL AJ Green jersey for $20. They go for $100. I'm gearing up for the season. I hope the Bengals win the Super Bowl before the rapture comes and takes me out of here with Bootsy. What would I do if I had 24 hours to live? Witness to as many people as I can about Jesus Christ dying for their sins, that they need to believe on him. They got 24 hours. Pre-trib rapture. That's what I believe in, Mosh. I wore the weight vest this morning when I did my cardio. I fasted cardio. 4'5", 450 pounds, you should definitely be bulking. You got to push the scale at least 500. I don't really plank. I don't know. A couple of minutes. I don't really do them too often though. Yeah, I mean, you can't just put all your eggs in the basket that the pre-trib rapture is going to happen anytime soon. But if it doesn't, it's no big deal. But a lot of good teachers tend to lean that way and make a pretty good case for it. So I did a couple bench meets, Phil. If that makes me a power lifter, I don't know. I was a bench specialist. I never did a full power meet. Thoughts on the bedroom bully at 290? He was struggling in there, but age catches up on all of us. But I don't agree with the keto diet if that's what he's doing. I think carb cycling would be better for him if he's feeling, that weak that soon. Chuck E. Cheese Ranch works for Prince Andrew. That's the channel he works for. Way to go, Dimitri. How'd you drop the 20 pounds in about 5+ months? Favorite accessory lifts after or before squatting for leg growth? Pre-exhaust with leg extension. And there was a time where I did some hamstring, like hypertrophy training. And then for a good bit, I was doing leg press before squat just because it would lessen the load or the temptation to really load my lower back and spine, which had been bothering me. So, but I mixed it up. But we're back to, I trained in the secret layer. We squatted heavy this past week first. We did the warm-up mobility and then squatted heavy. But prior to that, we had been doing 2 or 3 exercises before squat. So for growth, I don't know. I mean, It's not a bad idea to do the extension, the leg curls if you're doing hams, or leg press, or even a hack squat if you have it. So just as long as you're, progressing, either going heavier weight or more reps or more volume to change it up. Hopefully I'll be raptured, after watching the Bengals win the Super Bowl or in the gym or reading the Bible or here with Bootsy. But then, I don't know, I'm a little concerned Bootsy will be left behind the rapture. Hopefully a good non-believer will take her and take care of her. Yeah, my lower back's been bothering me. It never was an issue when I was younger. Just making sure I don't get lazy on going, on squats and deadlift and bracing, bracing properly to get that, intra-abdominal pressure. And not, if it's a squat or a day where I might deadlift, give it a good 2-3 hours after I wake up before I get in there. And doing like the cat cow, the yoga stuff, banded hips, warming up, getting blood in my hips and abductors helps too for lower back pain. Or I'll do like hyperextension light just to get the blood in there. No gals in my life now. Yeah, Rusty, we use the yoke safety bar. Sometimes Stefan's got 2 or 3 bar options for squats. So the safety bar, yeah, a lot less stress on your shoulder, especially if you're like me with the lack of mobility there. It's making me look small, this jersey, huh? Soft and small, like I said, Dale looked at his first show. No, I never was on TRT. The last drugs I took was May 2019 for the palmetto, and I've been off ever since. Was Leo a grifter? What's a grifter? What's your definition of a grifter? Do I miss the cookie cutter commercial gym? Unfortunately, I still have to go there. Sundays, I train at the Secret Lair. And then if he's in town Thursday and I'm off, I could train there. But I got a couple gyms in the rotation. Did I think about going full Delray Ripper in the last gal I was with? No. Leave her be. The more I think about it, the girl, obviously had some emotional issues. No, I never did Zercher squats. Front squats where I would hold it like this. But I never got into that. Lenny's a grifter. Yeah, I've taken time off when I've strained my lower back or the minor pec tear I had in the early 2000s from the antibiotic. I had to take time off. I've strained my lats. I mean, I work around it. I do what I can. S23, what's that? Is that a SARM or something? If it is, I'm not familiar with it. I felt pretty good on the Rad 140. I took it in 2018. I got stronger. I put on like 12 pounds, but almost a day or two after I ceased taking it, I just felt lethargic, like I crashed. Then I jumped onto a real test cycle back at, it was 2018. But the SARMs, the Rad 140 was giving me the runs. It was a liquid. I don't know if it was that. It was like a very strong tasting, but and it really raised my cholesterol, lowered the good cholesterol, raised the bad cholesterol. So that was something I wouldn't have known unless I went for blood work. Yellow SpongeBob t-shirt wearing individuals at the gym. Probably. I try not to make eye contact. I had to do legs at Crunch last week. It was just at 10 in the morning and on a Wednesday. I couldn't believe how busy the place was. You Gotta Be a Freak. That's the channel I work for, Bootsy and I. Con man, finding people to pay for your lifestyle. Nah, I don't know if Leo did that. He did a lot of consultations. A friend of mine in New Jersey, Rob, he consulted with him, and he had nothing but good things to say about him. He was a smart guy, Leo. It's an unfortunate demise. you're taking HGH, Chuck E. Cheese. I don't know, but Dr. Rhonda Patrick had some good videos about how the sauna use, which I've been doing, really drives up your HGH. I don't know if it's a transient or a sustained effect, but it's been 190 degrees in there. I go for 20 minutes. Now I'm going to up the frequency on that, but I'm not going to take any growth or test. I have no desire to do any of it right now. I figure with the time restricted eating and the sauna and the training is enough GH boost. My back watching corn. I try to avoid it. It's few and far between these days, but I'm not completely devoid of watching it. It's the black maca root gives me the desire sometimes. How to gear high test or steroids in general make me feel versus being natural. More pumped, more blood volume walking around. You just feel fuller. I mean, if I was on a cycle, my sex drive, my libido would be a lot higher at my age. That's for sure. But more explosive on the lifts in the gym, even warming up. You just, more twitchy strength, which is everything's a grind now, being natural. So, and then obviously more pumps when you lift. Motivational quotes I live by. I don't know. Some Bible verses. I'm reading a Christian book. There were some good quotes in there by like St. Thomas Aquinas and just random like Christian authors. I forgot them, but when I read them, it's like, oh, that's a good quote, but I forget them a day later. So I'm still in retail, Dimitri, and doing this on the side. Is it true that Jay's fight with Adam was over Brad's love? No, I doubt that. Cats are doing good. It's getting hot. Hopefully my old neighbors are applying the flea medicine to them. Bootsy's doing good. She was a little spooked tonight because of the thunder. Can you go heavy on squats and deadlifts after torn ACL and torn meniscus? Yeah, I tore my meniscus. I'm back to going heavy for me. And I've known guys that had ACL injuries from high school football, and once again, were big squatters. Their legs are blowing mine away. So you can, if it's a good repair, you do the rehab. It'll be in the back of your head, I'm sure, for a while once you go back at it. But what's the difference between believing in God and believing in Jesus? Well, there's a verse that demons believe in God. No, it's you believe God is one, so the demons do and shudder. But many people believe in God nowadays. The New Age movement's thriving. People that do drugs, the hallucinogens, will believe in a higher power of God, but it doesn't get you saved, doesn't get you into heaven, because Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. Nobody comes through the Father but through him. And there's no name under heaven besides Jesus Christ where men can be saved. So Jesus died for your sins. He was God and human. It's kind of complicated. It's a kenosis, is the doctrine in Christianity, where he laid aside his deity to take up a human form and, not sin and then die on the cross. So the most impressive lift I saw Lenny do back in the day, probably a deadlift or a shrug or the neck harness with 135 pounds. Yeah, I'm still in retail. You should go compete, Chuck E. Cheese Ranch. You're on the HGH. You're probably running a little gear. Get out there. Reveal yourself. Yeah, we stood up that last night in Vegas. And then I couldn't sleep on the plane. I had a red eye back. It was awful. I paid for it for a few days later. My lifts, I don't know. I'm not moving any weight. I'm trying to go heavier and progress, but doing the basics, though. More of a lower volume, one set to failure. Never heard of Les Brown, Dimitri. Do I feel like no one could beat me up when I was at my biggest? Maybe back then I was deluded into thinking that, but really, I mean, I had no fighting skills, a lot of strength. But you get a skilled person that was over 200 pounds that knew how to fight. Yeah, they would have most definitely won. But an average person my size, I'm sure I could handle. That's what it takes, macho freak. Sometimes is hit rock bottom. I have a bulging disc on my L5. It's probably worse now. I probably have degenerative discs, and for me, it's my SI joints really hurt me. So if I'm not careful, I could easily strain my lower back when squatting or deadlifting. But that's like I said before, is practicing, bracing properly. I'll use a belt on the heavy sets, but just do. My buddy Malcolm that lets me use his gym here. He's got back problems and he's got massive legs, but he don't squat or deadlift anymore. He said it's too risky, but he still looks good. He's got a lot of size. You gotta work around and improvise. I could probably hit 150-pound strict curl for 1 rep. Now I'm more on moving the weight when I bench. My chest still looks good. I squeeze it on the other lifts, but I want to move the weight on the bench. Advice for a 40-plus-year-old looking to get on TRT for the first time. If your levels are that low where it calls for it, if you feel, that bad. But make sure you run all your labs while you're doing it. And then if you're going to come off properly with the PCT. But make sure you're checking, cholesterol, hemoglobin, donate blood if you have to. That's one of the risks with a lot of guys is high red blood cells and potentials for clots, even from low dose TRT, apparently. So the most important exercise that supplemented my nasty overhead strength, probably strong triceps, heavy skull crushers, just my tricep, heavy tricep work, push downs, mainly the skull crushers, close grip, translated, and then having big, strong traps and neck, because there is a lot of traps in a behind the neck standing press. That's right, Edgar. What do you think? My 1 rep strict curl back in the day? More than that, because Lenny and I were curling 225. A little bit of momentum at our heaviest for reps, so I'm sure I could have done over 225. How do I stay consistent when I cut? When I dieted for shows, was never even a thought in my mind to cheat on a diet. But the last guy that coached me gave me cheat meals, which I thought was odd because I was used to just doing clean eating for the whole way with no cheat meals. But I don't know, just a switch turned on when I knew it was time to compete. It was 16 weeks out, so, and I had been embarrassed before for not coming in shape, so I was going to do everything in my power. So you got to nail the dieting and the eating and not cheating. At the end, you could screw it up too by, carb loading or messing up your water or sodium or something. Steve Harvey on Motivation Hub. His story is amazing. Who, the talk show host, the black guy that looks like Richard Pryor? Is that who you're talking about, Dimitri? Did you feel good all the time while I was on gear? No. Especially when I was bulking, you feel like crap. You kind of feel toxic because it is inflammatory to your system. Anadrol is very liver toxic. You feel the flu symptoms, lack of appetite. That's where the weight gainers came in. I don't see the super chat anywhere. Coyote. It's monetized, so I don't know why it can't come through. I don't know. Strange. They're robbing me of money anyway, YouTube. I never received money that people donated from a while back. Did I slowly cut calories each week when dieting? Only this last time when Trey Hodge coached me because he was checking in weekly and altering the diet. But when I did it back in the day in 05 and 06, I just ate the same calories pretty much through. I kind of went on instinct. I'd cut out like red meat about halfway through, but nobody did my diet. I just upped the cardio, week by week, and then cut out the carbs. I really didn't eat much, but it was more structured this past time with Trey back in 2019 because he programmed cheat meals early on and then refeeds. But back when I did it, I got lean. I was just eating low carb, low fat, high protein, and doing cardio. I was getting leaner. So cardio this last time with Trey in 2019, as much as an hour fasted in the morning and then like 20 minutes post workout. And then when I did it back in the day, it was like 45 minutes in the morning and maybe 20 minutes after lifting if I need it. So the tops was about an hour and a half total for the day. If I could go back, would I invest more time in building a family? No, it was never a possibility for me. I never really met the right woman. And the one I lived with in Florida maybe was marriage and family material, but it didn't work out. So maybe not God's will for me. I don't know. But nowadays, you could forget about it with women. They're so wishy-washy. Of course, there's some women out there still bearing children. I know them, but it's looking bleaker and bleaker for me. But not honestly worried about it. So, I'd never move back to Boca. The toughest misfit, past or present, that would win in a bar fight. I don't know. Who would you consider in the list of misfits that I'd have to choose from? I do have the same level of disdain for cookie cutters. I think I'm going to make a separate video, not a live, about cookie cutters. Things I've observed here lately. In the 90s, I went to high school from 92 to 96, farted around with some jobs and bounced. And then I think I met Lenny in 98 or 99, started lifting. But underachieved. I should have gotten like a college degree or a trade or something useful, I think. Yeah, always slowly reduce the calories. Just, slowly but surely. And then when that doesn't work, or if you want to eat a little bit more, you've reduced calories but still aren't getting leaner, up the cardio a little bit. But only one variable at a time. Don't do both. Do less cardios, okay, or less calories, okay, doesn't stop working, maybe add in cardio. Once you stall from that, reduce the calories a little bit, kind of like that. Would I join the Army? Yeah, I definitely would have considered military, maybe like the Air Force or the Navy, because a lot of those guys are set up for life if you pick a good trade too. The Polish girl's still up in like outside of DC working. I haven't talked to her anymore since I've been off Instagram. Well, the dating apps, Killmaster, it's much easier for women. Even an average woman's going to have multiple guys, upper level tier guys going after her. But the women want the top tier guys, the bad boys, and they'll like take anything they dish out from them. They all want the top 10% of guys that are making money, taller, the Tom Brady's. But even he got divorced. Even alpha male football players get divorced. So 80% are initiated by women. And what is it? The divorce rate, 50 to 60% divorces. You got no fault divorce. So for without a reason, you can get a divorce, get put through the meat grinder and ringer of divorce court, get your kids taken, pay alimony. You should eat 4 to 5 meals a day, quick pump, if you're looking to add size, every 3 to 4 hours. Yeah, there's not a great selection of girls here, Chuck E. Cheese Ranch. What's up, that guy 6? I'm a bad boy. I'm bad at everything. Ski mask. Thoughts on Andrew Tate? I don't know. I really haven't watched too much of his content. I don't agree with a lot of what he says. A lot of, he has some good beliefs, but I mean, is he? I don't know. Is he a Muslim? He hasn't spoken highly about Christianity. Yeah, 315 for 15 deep squats is very good. When he did quarter rep squats, is that why he always had frog legs? My legs suck too on stage, and we did hack squats and deep squats. Um, Maybe we didn't do enough volume or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's tall. He's taller. It's harder to get deep. I mean, wasn't the worst depth on squats, especially for as big as he is. Canceled your super chat, Coyote Fit. That's weird. Thoughts on rising rates of virgin men and what it means to society. Are they involuntarily? Are they the incels or voluntarily doing it for like religious purposes or asceticism? But I would try a lot. It's harder and harder. Like I said, some guys are getting, a percentage of guys are getting most of the women fornicating or whatever, and a lot of guys are left out or they don't have the skills. And today, it's a lot of online dating and not meeting in person like my parents did at some diner in the 60s. Like, most of your parents probably met. So it's a different game. Maybe they don't have this social skills or have the nerve to meet up with them or talk to them in person. Who knows? It's not a bad thing. Good for them. Stay pure. Will Arnold respond to Lenny's call out or will he duck him? I'm sure he'll see it at some point. Thoughts on Thailand? I don't know. I've never been there. I don't have a desire to go there. Look what happened to Leo. Yeah, he converted to Islam, Tate. I don't know. He's materialistic. Men sent their own way, Joey. I like it. Mistow instead of MGTOW. Do I deal with social anxiety? I don't really go out. I'm not out in social situations around large crowds anymore. I work in retail. So that's the extent of my socialization. Generic profile, whoever it is, thanks for the 20 shekel donation. He wants me to promote World Gym marketing. Over 5 million views and growing. Promote World Gym marketing machine. Are there any World Gyms around anymore? What was the funniest thing I saw Lenny do in the gym? Kick the exercise ball across the gym and it hit the Haitian guy in the face. Solomon Pokey. I watch a lot of YouTube. I have the premium, Edgar. I'll watch NFL once it's on. But a friend of mine gave me his passwords for some streaming apps, so I'll watch like some old shows that I liked, like True Detective season 1. I thought was pretty good. But I don't watch any network TV or I don't have any cable, like streaming, like most people have these days. Thoughts on more girls than boys being born? Well, it's the first I've heard of that. So it means there's more gals, less guys around. So better options for the guys going forward to choose a gal. Where's your world gym, Uganda hater? There's none in South Carolina, as far as I know. Have I heard of Hammer Hand YouTube channel? No. When are the Misfits getting back together? Ask Brad. Brad's got the gym. He's got the podcast equipment. I'm waiting for a podcast myself. No, I never really got lower chest fat when I was big, PJ. Even at my biggest 340, I still had you could clearly see my lower chest, the separation. I didn't have the man boobs ever like I had gyno. I was lucky that way. I meet plenty of people, Chuck E. Cheese Ranch. People still ask me questions in the gym. But I don't. I got a few friends, Stefan from the Lair, but I'm more of an introvert. I like my private alone time. Crucible Christian Debater on YouTube. No, never heard of him. If I never moved from Florida, would I still be freaky with Lenny blasting gear, hitting the gyms? I'd hit the gyms. I wouldn't blast the gear, though. Thoughts on Brad and Lenny's feud? I get the inside scoop on our text message threads that Lenny sends every day. So I think Brad, I got the vibe from him in North Carolina, which is perfectly fine. He doesn't really want much to do with the misfit culture anymore. I don't know if that has something to do with a certain somebody with initials TQ, if you catch my drift, but whatever. Everything has its time, and all good things coming to an end. But I was glad to see Jay getting filmed by Prince Andrew. So if Lenny can get down there, I'm sure he could film him at the gyms too. Thank you, Rando Alt, for the 5 shekel donation. Nah, I wouldn't ask Lenny to come up to his mom. Is older. He should be with his mom. In her latter days, and take care of the cats. He doesn't seem like he wants to move out of there, but I wouldn't move away from my mother if I was there either. So. Brad said he'd never wear a jersey with another man's name on it. When did he say that? Why'd you think I was Jason Blaha, VR Savior? I don't have Discord. I don't want to go live with Vince Goodrum. I don't have free time, Chuck E. Cheese. I'm always busy with my self-improvement, bettering myself. Thoughts on Pride Month? You don't want to know my thoughts on Pride Month. Rob Zombie's Halloween remake. No, I haven't seen it. Well, the Pride Month thing is, for example, I follow the New York Mets. I grew up watching them, but they had the flags flying around the stadium. So my question to them is, why do I have flags commemorating guys that built the stadium, built New York City, that died building this, those tall buildings? People from all over the world, they've died. They got paid nickels and dimes to build up that city, build the stadium. Whoever runs the electric in the city field maintains, fly flags for those people. Those are true accomplishments. People that maintain the plumbing there, the groundskeepers. And that goes for these other companies too, like PetSmart, which I buy Bootsy's, food and stuff there. It's constantly getting emails about it. It's how about recognizing, Memorial Day? You get one day. How about a month for Memorial to commemorate guys that died in the military, or Veterans Month? It's ridiculous. How about a Passion Month instead of just a Passion Week for Christ? My dream lifestyle, Rando Walt. Thanks for the $5 dono. Yeah, some land with a house, a modest little house with some cats, a stray cat sanctuary to socialize and get them adopted. A place for guys, that are on the fringe of society that just feel lost and left out, that I can mentor. A nice Christian-based, community for men. But no, not in Florida. Maybe Italy. I've never been there. I don't know. They probably have some nice fertile land in Italy to grow all sorts of vegetables. It's not too far from the ocean. You get some good seafood there, but not Florida. I wouldn't go back there. The pride is against hate, nothing to do with accomplishments. But I don't see the hate. There's plenty, I live in the Bible Belt, if you want to still call it that, but I don't see these hate crimes and all the hate against them. But if they're going to make up these months and these holidays and whatnot, it's like there's plenty that are left out that are worth celebrating, is what I'm saying. I like dogs. I want to get a dog one day, Mike. But not now. Not as long as I have Bootsy, but why is everyone against DeSantis? I don't know. I think he'd be a great president. But a lot of these guys got no chance running for Republican nominee, like Mike Pence, Chris Christie, Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley was the governor of my state. She's going to lose this state to Trump, I guarantee it. So I don't like Florida. I lived there long enough. I'm intrigued by the desert for some reason, like Arizona. The drier, no humidity, no hurricanes. Pride is against hate. That's something to be proud of. Yeah. Why does Brad have so many chores to do? That's the older house down there in Florida. It's just the way it is. Like my dad was working on projects around the house. Really doesn't do it for me. I don't know. I think I don't know. It's the townhouse is appealing too, but then you're not going to have the land to accompany it to have the stray cat sanctuary and the men's retreat and all that if you have a townhouse. So there's pros and cons to everything. Well, that's what I'm asking, Uganda hater. What is there to be proud about? I don't understand the pride affiliation with. Andrew, thoughts on Big J always bashing people with cannonball delts, but he has absolutely no shoulder development at 280 and makes his physique look like Grimace from the McDonald's commercial. He doesn't really train his shoulders. I know he's not big into side lateral raises, which would develop that cannonball round look. I don't know. Jay's just, still trains the powerlifting strength training programs. Whatever, to each his own. But as far as I know, he hasn't isolated or really done like a hypertrophy focused shoulder training session or blocks. I don't know. Maybe he has, but it just doesn't interest him. I don't know. How would Dale stack up against me in my prime size-wise? He was pretty big in April in North Carolina. He said he's, I don't know, how was he, 5'7", 5'8", he was 260. I mean, at my fattest, I was 340. That's when I benched all that weight. But in my off season, I was 275, 280. So he's not too far off from where I was. His legs are probably a little bigger than mine were. Yeah, Jay's a big guy, like as far as width. I mean, he doesn't have bodybuilder or off-season bodybuilder delts. Hello, we have somebody from Japan. Can anybody read that writing? Yeah, I had a hernia repair in 2007, ventral and umbilical. It was not arthroscopic. I got about a 5-inch scar where they cut me just below my sternum to my belly button. It was painful for a couple of days. By the end of the week, it was just numb, which it stood numb for a while from the mesh, but the pain was gone after 4 or 5 days. They give you painkillers. I was doing cardio after 2 weeks, and 6 weeks I could resume weightlifting. God bless, Frank. God bless you in these last days, Frank. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, if you're doing a lot of heavy back work, chins and rows and pull downs, you're hitting your biceps pretty much. But I still would add some, direct bicep work in there as well. Triceps too. I mean, the press, it's not the same, I don't think full like contraction is like a push down or skull crusher. What do I think happened to Dale's physique when he competed? He looked really flat, like a deck of cards, real blocky. At the show he did in Florida, yeah, maybe it was like a tune-up for another show because he said he won a show soon thereafter. I don't know. I didn't see the pictures of the other show he won while he was working with Cornelius. I mean, Cornelius knows his stuff, so I don't know. But he wasn't very sharp at the Florida show, that's for sure. The guy from Japan's name is Pearl Harbor. Did I ever get head rushes and ringing in the ears while on test trend master on? No, I never got that. Is bully delusional, thinking he will look good at 275, more like 200. I think we overestimate a weight that will look good lean. I sure did, and Lenny did. So depends what your definition or his definition of looking good at 275. If he's 275 with abs, yeah, that's good. But I think he would have to get a lot lighter to really have the lean look that he envisions. But I mean, I started dieting at 275, 280 and came in at 220 ripped. So am I not curious what's inside Lenny's stomach after all these years of knowing him? Yeah, I'd like to know. When he passes, he should donate himself to there's a good YouTube channel, the Institute of Human Anatomy, where they have cadavers, and it's really informative, actually. But he should donate his body to them, and they could look at it. Pearl Harbor, Asian Beach. Yeah, I missed the 2014 Misfits too, Uganda hater. What's a good food that's low calories and makes you feel full? I mean, a quarter cup of almonds is less than 200 calories, and it's got fiber and good fats that fills you up. Or like avocado. If you ate a whole chicken breast, I mean, that's low calories. That'll fill you up. Or some lean ground beef. Eat a lot of greens. A big bowl of greens is low calorie. It'll fill you up from all the fiber. Would I beat Dale in the overall when he got third in the Ruby? Of course. Thoughts on DJ Jonas calling me a weirdo on the IML podcast? Which podcast is that? That's a compliment coming from him. I never met him. How does he know I'm a weirdo? Yeah. Which is a bit bigger contributor to a distended gut, GH or insulin? I don't know. I've heard both. Wet carbs over dry carbs for feeling full. Yeah, like a boiled sweet potato or oatmeal. Yeah. Andrew, I left cooked chicken uncovered accidentally in my fridge overnight. Is it still okay to eat? Yeah, I don't see why not. No, I don't know of any appetite enhancements. I heard GHRP6, that peptide or whatever it is, may help, but I don't know. Brad here, unless it's an imposter, an infiltrator, says Jay Masters is not welcome in my home. My email, Danny Almeida, is rawstrength650@yahoo.com. V. Regathful movies. Thoughts on Republicans talking nonstop about transgenders, blowing it up out of proportion immensely. Yeah, to me, that's, where I stand, but there's far greater issues with this country. I actually like Vivek Ramaswamy, what he had to say. John Stossel interviewed him, but we're facing a lot bigger problems than that. It's a non-essential in my book when it comes to my getting my vote. I don't approve of it, and it's pushing the agenda and these companies. I mean, they could do what they want, but our country, we need to figure out the inflation, become energy independent, stop giving money to Ukraine, and stop sticking our nose in other people's business, but being the policemen, which we have been forever. Yeah, it was funny, Lenny's according to Brad video. VR Savior says Taco Queen's got to approve the guest list a week ahead of time for Brad's barbecues. Thoughts on Jay's recent bench video where he struggled to bench 275 for 6 with bloodshot eyes. His eyes, I watched the video and his eyes didn't look bloodshot. But he said he's in a caloric deficit, and the more gear he takes, he just feels like crap and doesn't help him. But it's going to happen eventually. I mean, he's in his 50s. I'm already feeling the effects. I'll be 45. It's just your body stops responding. But like I said earlier in the video, if he's doing keto, he always mentioned he likes doing keto. I'm not a fan of it. I like carb cycling. Or if you're going to do keto, do a refeed carb day. Am I into sports gambling apps? They're getting popular. Every year for NFL, like FanDuel and DraftKings, I'll put about $10 in, and that lasts me through the whole year because they have a lot of free games. The odds of you winning are next to none because you get a 6-figure amount of people playing in a free, you enter a different lineup every week. But yeah, I know they are getting popular. A guy in the Indianapolis Colts just got popped for betting. Isaiah Rodgers, but he's screwed. He'll probably get suspended or a lifelong ban from the NFL. I think he was betting on his team too, if I'm not mistaken. No, we shouldn't have gotten involved with the Russia-Ukraine war. Sending a lot of money and military personnel and equipment over there. God knows what else. For what? Thanks, Danny. I'll give it a look and get back to you. Give me an overview of what you're looking to do. 19 inches, that's big arms, PJ. Mine aren't even 19 now, so. There's a diet called PSMF where you eat 800 to 1,000 calories of lean protein and leafy greens. It's meant for obese people. Yeah, that'll get them lean. I don't know. Why is Brad always in such a grouchy mood? I think he's on here. I saw his his picture and it says Brad. So maybe he can answer. Do you think Brad would fight for Putin? No. All right, maniacs. Last call for questions. My obligatory live I got to do every so often to keep the channel up and running. I took steroids my senior year in high school before I knew Lenny PJ. I get lethargic cycling testosterone and feel better on the archaic NPP D-ball, but I hear a lot of naysayers saying DECA and NPP are terrible for you. It's probably all terrible for you. I got news for you. But I always felt good on D-ball and test. I took NPP. I didn't feel lethargic on that. I felt lethargic when I was really at a heavy body weight taking Anadrol and Tren, which are like the most toxic. So, but you work around it. You enjoy the pumps. You get in the gym and move some weight. You force feed if you have to. It all depends on what your goals are. Do I prefer Muslim or Catholic for religion, and why? Catholic, because some of them actually believe in Christ and maybe do things the right way and don't pray to the Virgin Mary for some reason. Muslims just, it's a false religion. It's not going to get anybody to heaven when they just believe Christ, Jesus is a prophet, nothing more. My bench now, hell, I'll be lucky if I could do 315. I don't know. When I did the 650 bench, I was like 330, 340. Is Dianabol better than Anadrol? You'll get good results from both. You get stronger, bigger, more really pumped from both. I think Anadrol is the stronger of the drugs, though. Mr. Timothy Wickberg, how's it going? Yeah, I followed more of a Menser, Arthur Jones approach when I started lifting in the 90s, early 90s in high school. Well, actually, I benched every day. I had a home gym. I didn't know any better. I was benching every day. Then when I went to my first commercial gym, it was more like a bro split, but not a ton of volume. Favorite hot dog toppings? I don't really eat hot dogs, but when I did, sauerkraut and relish. I'll have a hot dog if it's like nitrate free, no MSG. But yeah, sauerkraut is a must. Mustard and sauerkraut. I tried Osterine, did nothing for me. My manager tried it, did nothing for him. So what? He's mentioned as a nothing more than a prophet in the Quran, more than the Bible. He's mentioned as deity in the Bible, and you have to believe in him to inherit eternal life and have your sins forgiven. You have to believe in him. I don't think the Quran says anything about that. How many rest days a week do you think is optimal? At least 2 to 3. Maybe Duray. That might be why superstar Billy Graham needed a liver transplant, or I don't know if he was a drinker too. But a lot of those guys took a lot of D-ball. But your liver regenerates well. I took a lot of oral steroids too. So, yeah, 2 on, 1 off is a good lift and split. George Fisher's neck. Who's that? Never heard of him. Any tips on getting bigger traps? I mean, you're working them too by deadlifting. You could do farmer's walks. Maybe you're going heavy, but you're not getting a good squeeze, good contraction. Maybe you lighten the load and focus on the squeeze. I don't know. Batman or Superman? Superman. Ready to produce the Feline Phenom podcast. It's a good name. I should do it. I'm sure Genova was getting fake gear, but I think he was taking some real gear too, because he put on some size like sloppy water weight. So Yeah. Or maybe like hold at the top for a couple seconds too. I don't know. Change it up if you're not getting any good growth out of what you've been doing. That's the lead singer of Cannibal Corpse. Yeah, I remember it was Chris Barnes from 6 Feet Under. That's a good idea, Mike. I should be a bounty hunter for cat abusers and cat abandoners. That's a very good idea. I don't think anybody has one of those shows yet. I talked to Jay on my last live. I guess it was him. I spoke with him through the live here, but other than that, no, I haven't talked to him. Appreciate it, Timothy. Yeah, good idea with the Splice app, which I think I did use once for one of the training videos. But yeah, Rob Zilla's out there doing the leg work, delivering mail. Who knows if he's still lifting anymore? Yeah, that'll diminish your size real quick out there in that heat. I like Static X. Probably not one of my. It's one of my favorite bands. Not my favorite band though. Rich Piana's 8-hour arm workout. I don't know. You would probably get inflammation in your arms to where they would measure a bigger circumference for a short period. But I mean, it's not sustainable long term, even if you're taking stuff. So maybe it's something cool to do for a video for YouTube. Yeah, Rip Saul, rest in peace, Saul, the old man Chuck, Mike Quinn, and a guy from up here I know, a bodybuilder, Dan Quattlebaum, nice guy. He died a couple weeks ago in a motorcycle accident. That's why I went for my name of the live that we're just vapors here, like it says in James in the Bible. You don't know what tomorrow will bring. My cycle for the Palmetto was Masteron, Tren, Winstrol tabs, and halotestin towards the end. No Primobolan, nope. Do you know normal Muslims believe in second coming of Isa, prophet, Jesus, that is written in Quran? No, I didn't know that. Yeah, Mike Quinn, yeah, he invited him. He couldn't make it to Lou's Memorial Day barbecue. What's my theory on why Lenny outlived Boston Lloyd and Dallas McCarver? Because he'll be here as long as God says he will, despite his health issues. Same thing with me. Just proof. All these people, Lenny's outlived. Corey Gilbert from Bally, Scandinavia, ran the pro shop in the 90s. He was a ripped bodybuilder. He told Lenny he was going to die. So Lenny will be here till God's work for him that he had planned for Lenny is done. Same with me. I saw that ski mask that an article I was reading online. A lot of the African countries very, very anti-gay. But Uganda, I believe they'll put them to death or imprisonment. That's wild. Leprechaun or Chewbacca? I like the Leprechaun, the horror movies. They were pretty good. When he goes to the hood. No, I haven't used a CPAP machine in 11 years. No, taking tests won't prevent you from going to heaven. Once saved, always saved. G money. No one can snatch you out of God's hand. It's written in the Bible. Hello, Boo. I never smelled Jay Masters' breath. I heard it's bad, though. Even Prince Andrew made a quip on the video the other day. Thoughts on today's rap music? It's crap just like yesterday's rap music. How about that? I don't listen to it. Rap is crap. Lenny did another live about Brad today. I know he's been doing quite a bit about Brad lately. Would Brian Shaw win a bodybuilding show if he dieted? Nah. But he's very impressive. He's carrying a good bit of muscle, and I mean, for lack of a better way to put it, he's athletic looking for a 400-plus pounder. So I was very impressed with him. That's why he's the only one I took a picture with at the Olympia. Ocho Cinco, AJ Green, Jamar Chase. Start one, sit one, trade one. Start Jamar Chase. Sit AJ Green because he really didn't perform well in the playoffs. Trade Ocho Cinco because he became a locker room nuisance towards the end of his career. But they were all great in their time, those receivers. But Jamar Chase, I think, is I like him. I think he's the best of the three. Best wrestling era, the mid to late 80s into the early 90s, whenever the Road Warriors and the Powers of Pain were in their prime. Seemed to have a lot of guys like that. When I benched the 650, I was eating 5,000 to 10,000 calories. I was taking a test, like a gram a week, some sort of oral. I don't remember if it was D-ball or Anadrol, and then like a Deca, 600 mgs a week. Taco Queen, is she the Yoko Ono, the Misfits? What do you mean, like how Yoko Ono tore up the Beatles? Maybe, if that's what you're referring to. Tell him, OG Ghost. He's a regular listener on Lenny's lives. So he answered your question of whether Lenny's jealous of Brad. Thanks for the $1.99 dono. Any plans on visiting Florida? No, I know Lenny wants to arrange a meetup at the Olympia, but as of now, there's nothing concrete in the works. I think Vince takes TRT. Yeah, I wish I had a Prince Andrew here. I would make more gym videos. I would be in them if I was down there. He's a great cameraman. He's got a great commentary. Taco Ono. I like it. That's the new nickname. Taco Ono. Make sure you mention it on Lenny's live so he can run with it. Thoughts on Chuck Basher and hollow points? I don't follow you there. Elaborate. Yako Queen. Do I think Brad is still having issues satisfying Taco Queen? What do you mean still? Enlighten us here, buddy. What do you know that we don't know, that the rest of the misfit maniacs don't know? Thoughts on Brad not sharing his gym? Yeah, that's a head scratcher to me, because I'm under the understanding a lot of people donated equipment and memorabilia to Brad's gym, and nobody's allowed to visit it, apparently. I don't know. Not too cool there, Brad. Yeah, I do remember Chuck Basher. Yeah, I was doing a video with Jason and Lenny, called Lenny a racist. Good for you, Luke. That's a good decision. Retired from bodybuilding to save money and health and finish college. Good for you. What are you studying there in college? Not women's lib or third wave women's feminism or basket weaving. Hopefully it's something productive. Nah, motorcycles don't interest me at all. It's me, Monk, Andre Calora. No love life for me, Johnny, except for my first love, Jesus Christ. Good for you. It's good. Exercise science, business, very useful. Gender studies, part of the Common Core. Jay Cutler's shoe collection. I don't understand the fascination with it. The girl, Dorian, she and I parted ways back in December. Haven't seen her or heard from her. Well, she works at a place I shop at, a grocery store, but I haven't seen her in my last couple of trips. MGTOWs for Jesus. God bless you from South Carolina. Cool name. I'll be 45 this summer, Mike, but like Larry King, I could have kids into my 60s and 70s if I so choose, if it's God's will for me. Do I think Big J can slim down enough to do men's physique? Yeah. Anybody can enter, as you saw with Genova. But to get in a good shape where you'd be competitive, yeah, it would take a long time, though. Nah, wasn't really awkward seeing her at the store. Yeah, De Niro and Pacino have kids at 80. All right, maniacs. I'm going to call it a night. I've been up since 5 in the morning here. Of course, I'm still young. I could more than capable of having a child, but the female pool is there's more piss in the pool than actual good females. I hate to say. Night, Andre. I'll be 45 this summer, Bradford. Do it. Make a Tinder. You have my permission, Mike Paul, and see if you get any good hits on Tinder with my old bulking photos. Good night, Boo. White Goodman, that's a question for the next live. And I recommend a good channel for you guys. Taylor the Fiend. It's a demon cartoon, and he makes reaction videos to these insane women. It's very entertaining. I give him a plug. But good night. Have a good one. Hopefully I'll be back here in a week or two. Taylor the Fiend. Check it out.